Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. We're going to be talking about tennis star Emma Raducanu. She was basically playing Arena Sabalenka, who is basically one of the number one player, and Raducanu lost to her 7-6, 6-4, which I believe was a tremendous match. And if anybody knows tennis, this Belarusian she either gets the finals, semi-finals, or either wins. She is just unbelievable, strong, very, very, aggressive and hard to beat. And I thought Emma Raducanu stood up to her big time. But like I said, she seems to be getting a lot of stick. Let's listen to this. This is by Charlie Boyle.
Fucking wake up. The only reason that Emma Raducanu had any opportunities at all in that match was because Arena Sabalenka was mentally all over the place and almost having a nervous breakdown. She had a serious issue with her mental stability in that match. Despite the many chances that Emma Raducanu had on the back of Arena Sabalenka basically falling apart mentally due to the crowd's abuse, by the way, a lot of the time, and lack of respect, she couldn't even win one set still. What does that tell you about Emma Raducanu's mind? There's something missing. And this is the reason, and I'm sorry to go on about this, and I'm sorry if it's unpopular, but unfortunately it's true. She's not a real Grand Slam champion. She'll never win another Grand Slam. And she still hasn't beaten any top players. That's the reality. You can hate on me as much as you want. But the reality is she's not a real Grand Slam champion. See you in the next one.
He did go on to apologise. I think they were very, very strong words, to be honest with you. But I watched that match, and like I said, she put everything into it. And people who know their tennis, this Sabalenka, she is just unbelievable, strong, world class. She's a bit feisty, but she is very, very hard to beat. And nine times out of 10, she probably would have beaten Raducanu. To be honest with you, that she's that good. But look, I thought Raducanu, she was at her home tournament, the All England Club, Wimbledon, and did absolutely brilliantly, to be honest with you. And like I said, she showed a lot of heart, but I don't know why people are so hard on her, because she's still only 22. She's had a lot of injury problems. Didn't she have a problem with a fan who was absolutely obsessed with her over the last some years ago? So I think there was a lot going on, but like I said, I think she left it all on the court, and I watched that match and I was impressed. And if she just had maybe another 10-15% more, I think Raducanu could have actually beaten Sabalenka, because I don't think Sabalenka at times was at her best. Her concentration went. Let me know what you think, people. I'm going to just move on to part two. We move on to Seb, and I thought he really made some good points.
Versus Sabalenka match at Wimbledon last night, and honestly, that is the best that I've seen Emma Raducanu perform since the 2021 US Open win, and I think it was a reminder of how good she can be. And also, it was just nice to see her back playing at that level, competing at that level. And if she was playing anybody but the world number one, she probably would have got through. And obviously, she's unseeded, which is why she's been drawn in that draw, and it's unlucky, whatever. But against anybody else, I think she would have went through with the tennis she played last night. And then you see some of the comments. The most overrated sports person in British history. She will never be as good as the British press want her to be. Fluke of a Grand Slam champion. I don't really know how you fluke a Grand Slam, but there you go. Surprised she managed the match without retiring from an injury. One of the worst players going for England. And I get that she's had a hard time on and off the court over the past 2-3 years, but people really forget that she won that Grand Slam when she was, 18 years old? She's only 22 years old now. She's still got got such a long career ahead of her. And yes, she's made some mistakes, you know, the constant switches of coaches and stuff like that. And it hasn't been ideal for her. And after she won that US Open, the hype got so high and probably a little bit too much. But that can happen with young stars and young athletes, especially when you don't really have somebody in that country who is a star at the time. Emma Raducanu became the best female British tennis player when she won that US Open and was dubbed for obvious reasons as the next big thing, which she still could be. Like I said, she's 22. And it's almost like people want her to fail. It's so bizarre. And I don't know whether that's because of how much she's got off the court, you know, with all the sponsorships and everything like that, and the fact that she became, I guess, a bit of a celebrity off the court. I don't know if that's rubbed people up the wrong way or something, but it shouldn't, because that is not her fault. And if people are doing anything other than thinking that's a really positive performance for British tennis and for Emma Raducanu, then I think you're mental.
I think that was really well said by Seb. You know, I do think she's got a lot of people, haters and jealous. I do think at her very best, she is a world-class player, but I was just surprised that reading a lot of comments about her, which is just completely out of order. I thought she played brilliantly. Please go to the BBC, people, if you haven't seen that match and are not even into tennis. I mean, she was up against a big, strong girl. What is she? 5'11", 6 feet, Zabalenka. She is, a big, strong woman who either gets to finals, wins the finals, or gets to semi-finals. She is absolutely unbelievable. And don't forget, Emma Raducanu, she's just coming back from a lot of injuries and problems. Let me know what you think, people, because I think sometimes the critics are very hard on her. And like I said, she has won a major honour, the US Open. I think it was the US Open some years back, 3 or 4 years ago. And she is a brilliant player. And I believe she's only 22. I believe she can win another Grand Slam. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and Streamline Investigations. Thank you.